I will give a little brief about myself. I have a PhD in urban planning. I was a lecturer in Hong Kong University and City University. I've taught for many, many years. I did that up to pursue theatre because
Question one, how do you see your industry, media, digitalizing and advancing?
as I said, I'm into performing arts. That is a very physical media that involves a lot of physical presence. We do stage plays. That is one of our biggest work that we have. Apart from that, we also do radio shows. I produce radio shows for Hong Kong, for RTHK. Over and above that, I teach. I teach theatre and drama in university. Okay? I train teachers to use drama and theatre skills into their classrooms. How they can learn, how they can use theatre, dramatic skills into their classrooms. We also work with schools, primary schools, and we use performing arts, we use puppets, we use storytelling, we use bookmaking, we use different crafts and we blend it into a performance. So children take part physically, hands on, they take part in these activities. And when they come out, they have learned two things. One, they have learned a language, which is English. And secondly, they have also learned a skill, which is communication. Okay, communication in English, because like Chinese is difficult for us, English is difficult for local Chinese kids too. Okay, so
Right.
now we had to very quickly move from a face-to-face classroom to a digital classroom because in Hong Kong, the impact of corona was felt right after the Chinese New Year holidays, and the kids could not go back to school. We had two options. One was to stop and say that we can't do anything. The second was to say that no, it's okay. If we can't reach physically, we'll at least try to reach out to the kids through digital, media and try and teach them what we can. Of course, we can't teach them everything, but at least we can teach them 50%, which is better than zero, right? So what we did is we used Zoom, we used Moodle. Moodle is almost like Google Classroom, but with a little more advanced features. We used Google Classroom as well. We used whatever means we could find at that point because it was not only about how we can teach the kids or how we can deliver our program, but also learning softwares at the same time. So I remember we have a team of teachers and a team of people who work with me, and everybody was working almost 17, 18 hours a day,
Wow.
dividing the day into say 5, 6 hours of actual digital interaction with our so-called little clients, and the rest of the time trying to improve upon what they have learned or what learning new softwares and trying to convert workshops online because we are filmmakers. It's very difficult for us to suddenly try and do something on on screen. It felt
Right.
unnatural, but now it feels pretty okay. So yeah, moving forward, I would say that we are now planning for the next semester in schools, and we are looking at online lessons, more online lessons. We are also creating a lot of personal videos which supplement the online lessons. We are trying to convert the worksheets into online games for the kids to play. So we are not stopping, but we are just changing the way we interact.
Right.
And I see that as a positive, way forward.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. That's really interesting as to see how you guys managed to move online. So secondly, tell us about your journey to Hong Kong and also working at TeaCup Productions?
Okay. So I think I spoke a little bit about how I came as a trailing spouse, just like you, Shweta. When we came, of course, we didn't have any kids, so it was easy for us to settle down in Hong Kong. I dabbled into trying to work, trying to, but nothing kind of hit my heart where I felt that right. Um, when I came to Hong Kong, I just had a bachelor's degree. I didn't even have my master's or PhD. So my husband was very supportive, and he said, "Hey, why don't you study? That is better than if you're struggling to get a job. It's not coming. You're not enjoying what you're getting. So why don't you build on your knowledge base?"
Right.
So I went and did my masters. After masters, I got into PhD. I did my PhD, and then it was kind of one thing leads to another, because what masters did is it gave me a bouncing board to connect to people who were out of my circle of comfort. um, After that, PhD allowed me to connect more to a different world, the world of academics.
Mhm.
And I was going for conferences, I was writing papers, I was delivering my papers, I traveled around the world with my thesis topic, and I was quite happy with that. After I finished my PhD, the natural transition was, you were offered a job in the university, you take it up.
Mhm.
So I did that. I taught for about almost 11 years, and then realized that this is good, this is really good. It's a very comfortable job, but the challenges become less and less as you get comfortable with your work.
Right.
So I was missing the challenge. And also, during this phase, we had adopted our son. I have three kids, and my son is the youngest. He's adopted, and he had his own learning needs, learning difficulties. And in trying to help him, I realized that theater was a good way where he could learn. And then I realized that okay, play acting is not all that difficult. So what started off as little home theater using socks and bed sheets soon became a full blown theater, and I then did a degree in theater,
Wow.
and then decided that I'll not go for work as such, but rather I would use my skills to help kids or help people who are struggling with children or who are struggling to learn how to do theater. That was the basis of Tika Productions.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so inspiring. Like, what an interesting life journey. Thank you. You touched on this a little bit before, but how has your industry developed or grown since COVID-19 has struck? Like, maybe what have other companies or like the industry as a whole kind of moved towards?
So industry, of course, has changed quite a lot, especially for people who relied a lot on traveling for work.
Mhm.
For them, it has been the biggest challenge. Even for us, we rely a lot on person to person interaction for work, which has changed. But again, as I would say, the point that we should always look at is not the way it is changing, but how much we are able to adapt to those changes. We, for Hong Kong, we never had a lockdown,
Mhm.
but we were still careful. I barely saw anybody without mask, even when the mask rule was not enacted.
Right.
So yes, as we speak, new softwares, new apps, new technology is constantly being developed. I remember using Zoom in the initial days when all you could do was make a face-to-face, make a call and nothing more. Zoom kept adding features, and you have to constantly keep learning, keep updating yourself.
Fourth question, how did you transition from traditional media to digital? Like, what new skills did you have to learn along with your company, and how did you learn them?
That's a very good question. Couple of things that we had to learn. One was audio editing.
Mm.
If you know how your voice sounds, if you know, especially if you have to make videos for teaching, you can have a video which has very good graphics, but if it does not have a good audio, then the purpose is lost. One channel of communication is gone. So that is something that you can learn. There are a lot of YouTube videos that teach you how to use, say, free audio editing softwares and create a good sound for your audio. So learn audio editing. Secondly, learn video editing. I know that nowadays you can make beautiful videos using just your phone. Use it. Whatever you can, use it. You don't have to try and aim for the best.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever software comes easy for you, learn, use, and see how you can you know manipulate that software for your promotion. As I said, you are now the product.
Right.
So how can you promote yourself? How can you market yourself? Third thing that I learned was graphic designing,
Mm-hmm.
because I realized that when we are creating content for kids, it is one thing when you can reach out to the kids, give them a colorful storybook, and they turn page and they can read it.
Mm-hmm.
Versus when you have to do it digitally, the pages don't turn organically, and the pages still have to be colorful. So learn graphic designing, that helps. At least have an idea of graphic designing, that helped us quite a bit. What else? Let me see. What else did we do? Yeah, I think that these were a couple of things that we have actively adopted. Oh, making more videos, of course.
Right.
A lot of more videos, yes.
Mm. Okay, cool. So, fifth question. What do you think the future of media will look like? I know you mentioned that you're planning for the fall semester, but like in the long run, and also more importantly, what skill set will future professionals in media need to have?
See, when you specifically talk about media, um, I mentioned that we produce radio shows and they have been digitized. So instead of just you know radio runs at different frequencies.
Mhm.
So yes, adopting a digital platform that allows you to broadcast your what do you call that, show to a larger audience, that helps. You can move to podcasts because people nowadays have become more and more, you know what we realize is that more than content, you have to squeeze your content into as small as you can,
Mhm.
because people don't have time to read a whole lot of words. They also don't have time to watch any video which is longer than 3 minutes,
Mhm.
because you can produce a 20-minute video, that's fine, but your message should be within the first 3 minutes.
Final question about like mentorship and courses. Could you suggest like online or local courses that you or your colleagues may have taken, as well as for people looking to break into the industry? Where can they find like internship or training opportunities?
So, for the courses, I'll deal with a question at a time. For the courses, I would say a couple of sites that I have also used, and my kids also use, and my team uses quite a bit. There is a course, openware course offered by MIT. Okay, I will share the links with you, Pankuri, if you can pass them on to everybody later.
Yes.
So MIT has a lot of courses. It has a couple of thousand courses online.
Mhm.
Okay. Other than MIT, there is of course Coursera that also offers free courses.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, there is again Harvard University offers a lot of courses. So this is the time when you can add value to yourself. Okay, so go and look up all these sites. MIT Openware, Harvard University has courses on vast amount of subject. There's another site called edx. Okay, they have again a lot of courses that are available online. There is the Open University. It has courses, from history to education to language to business, to nature, science, society, politics. Um, so yes, if you want to learn, there are so many courses, so many sites and universities that allow you to update yourself.
Thank you
Okay,
so much.
you're welcome, Jyoti.
Thank you all so much for coming. Thank you, Auntie Priyanka, for all the wonderful advice you gave, both about media and in general. And again, thank you all for coming. So I'll
Thank
see
you so much.
Thank you.
It
Thank
was
you
Bye.
so
lovely
much.
to all of you. Bye.
Bye.